Kaleidescape dropped some interesting news today with the introduction and the pretty much immediate availability of the Kaleidescape Strato M player. Yeah, we've got another new addition to the Strato movie player lineup. It's akin to the V with some discrete differences as well, and I think a little bit of a different focus for the type of person or maybe the type of installation that the M, I think, was specifically kind of built and targeted for. But yeah, Wednesday, April 2nd, the news broke this morning. Strato M movie player, Kaleidescape's entry-level movie player redefined, providing lossless audio and reference quality 2K video output. We'll get back to that in a second. Strato M works on its own or as part of a Kaleidescape system. Virtues, right? Lowest cost of entry with Kaleidescape quality. Standalone 480 gigabyte SSD drive in there, which according to the spec sheet was rated for roughly about 6 movies, HD movies that is. Scalable, of course, so you can use the Strato M with the Terra server. Lossless spatial audio and reference 2K video. So we are talking about a 1080p video player here, not a 4K unit. If you want a 4K unit for your massive home theater, for your main living room entertainment zone, you're not looking probably at a Strato M. Look at the V, look at the Strato C with the server. So Blu-ray quality or better with more color detail, Dolby Vision HDR10, BT 2020, and 422 chroma. So yeah, what we have here is basically a mini zone player, right? Mini zone player for applications where resolution isn't really a driving factor. Now I know on this channel in particular we talk a lot about Kaleidescape in terms of home theater use, dedicated home theater use, living room entertainment zone use, but the reality is their business expands quite a lot beyond that. They have a very, very vibrant marine market where Kaleidescapes are installed in large boats, yachts, ships, and the like. And we can think of like other maybe mobile applications, aviation, RVs, or other types of places where you may want to have a larger scale Kaleidescape system serving many zones where you want to maintain a certain level of playback quality and consistency, but the most extreme or furthest levels of technical capability, in this case specifically 4K is the thing that's being sacrificed, may not really matter because perhaps those zones have like really small televisions, they have really small displays. Again, if we're talking about something like a stateroom on a yacht, maybe rooms spread through a small hotel or a bed and breakfast or maybe something like that, they're 40-inch TVs, maybe less than that. Yeah, you're watching from 10 feet away or more. 4K really kind of doesn't matter so much, but you probably still want the punchiness, the color, the contrast of HDR and wider color space and things like that. Maybe you still have some nice speakers in that stateroom or in that zone, and hey, you still want to be able to get access to the higher fidelity lossless audio. So I think some folks maybe watching this video maybe immediately a little dismissive about the product perhaps, but ultimately I would say if that's how you feel about it, it's probably not for you. Again, you're looking for a 4K player, dedicated home theater, go get a V, get a C, and a Terra combo, get the full system, all the capabilities and all of that stuff. But I think for those looking to, again, deploy zone players where resolution isn't important, it's a great little addition to the lineup. Why not? $2,000 MSRP. This is now the cheapest entry point we've ever had, right? So things still continue to move in a pretty nice direction. The lowest entry point we've ever had to have a fully functional unit player system within the Kaleidescape platform. So it is a smaller form factor than what we have with the C and the V. More of like a box shape. Another notable element, there's no fans, completely dead silent. It basically just uses natural ventilation. I think the chassis looks pretty cool, the way they kind of made the cuts in it with the blue glows and the way that it's kind of open to look at. There are still rack mounts and wall mounts and stuff available. In terms of connectivity, we have a single gigabit Ethernet port. We have an HDMI port, which is spec'd as an HDMI 2.1 port. CEC hasn't yet come to the Kaleidescape platform, but it's been an acknowledged roadmap desired feature for them. I would heavily presume that this is the kind of box that would benefit from a CEC in a control setup. One USB port, and then of course a power brick connection, power connection as well. Resolution's up to 1080p 60. Very low power consumption. Max consumption 13 watt. Typical power consumption rated at 4.3. High power standby 3.8. And it is acknowledged in the spec sheet that, hey, you can use this to catalog discs as well. So a Strato M using the USB port available on the back will be able to connect an external Blu-ray player and you can feed your discs in for cataloging and disc to digital. Of course, it'll continue to work with all of the control system and automation that Kaleidescape is known for, as well as IR and a Kaleidescape remote is included. So I'm sure this fills a void in the offering, in the lineup. I'm sure that they developed this thing because they had identified a business value, a business need to fill a certain segment of the market and the customer base in certain applications, where hopefully this thing is really awesome and fits the bill for the requirements of the setup quite nicely, and especially at that $2,000 list MSRP price point. Of course, Techthusiasm is an authorized certified dealer for Kaleidescape and a whole bunch of other home theater and audio video brands, JVC, Panamorph, Seymour Screens. I can do Sony stuff, Denon Marantz, and so on. If you're interested in Kaleidescape, if you're interested in a whole bunch of these Strato M's because you've got a bread and breakfast hotel and you want to load it up with a cool Kaleidescape system and zone players in all the bedrooms, hey, reach out to Jeremy at techthusiasm.net or go to www.techthusiasm.net. My integrator reseller info is there, as well as my entire brand listing and a contact form to get in touch with me. If you'd like to support me in other ways, hey, look down in the description. There's a whole bunch of general shopping affiliates down there. Audio Advice, Best Buy, Target, Walmart, Newegg, and more. Click on those links, please, for all of your regular shopping. Leave a super thanks. Become a channel member. Really trying to reward the channel members more. Please do the regular YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, hit the bell, share the video, and come on back for more home theater discussion and fun. Thanks.